Yes, sir.
All right, good evening. Calling this meeting to order. I'll just do a little bit of housekeeping. In the freshly painted little red schoolhouse, our community center here, and the rules are don't touch the walls, please, and don't go into the kitchen. And we have one co-ed bathroom to use tonight, so if needed. And I'll just call this meeting to order now at 6:34. And don't touch the walls when you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Or do we do the roll call first? Roll call first.
Roll call.
All right. Roll call first.
All right. Kathy McCarthy.
I am here.
Chris Nettles.
I'm here.
Darlene Warner, I am here. Jake Strickler, absent. Joe Schneider, absent. Paul Duncan.
Here.
All right.
Okay, now we can stand.
Now we can stand.
Pledge the flags. That's not.
Yeah.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I saw your flag out. All right.
That's not performative.
Thanks, everyone.
Very much.
Okay, short announcements.
No, approval of agenda.
Oh, I just am one step ahead. I'm going to stop doing that. We have to approve the agenda first.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. And hopefully you had a moment to look at the minutes expertly drafted by Darlene.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And we have minutes.
And the one who made the motion, was that Paul?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Paul and then Chris. Thank you.
Let me check this agenda. Short announcements. Uh,
Good evening. My name is Robert Stark. I'm the president of the Lions Club, and thank you for keeping your hands to yourself tonight. This room had canvas on the floor, and all these were closed this morning with plastic and tape and all the way around the room, the lights, the whole thing. A lot of work got done today.
mm-hmm.
So when we are pleased, and don't expect me to hang anything on these walls for a long time. Okay, and an announcement from the Mountain Lions. You know, Memorial Day comes ridiculously early this year. So our first bingo of the season will be on the 24th, Saturday the 24th. And then our first pancake feed will be on Sunday the 25th from 9 to 12. Get your red hot pancakes right here. And that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other announcements? Okay. We now have time for public and board comment on a non-agenda item. 3 minutes per individual allowed. No one's approaching the microphone. We're going to move on to our supervisor's comments. Jessica Peiska. She's had a busy month.
Well, first I want to share that last night at the Big Valley Advisory Committee, the Kelseyville Business Association shared that they are working on their economic development plan modeled after the Cobb Area Council's plan. Yay! Yeah, that's very exciting. So they're working. Is it not working?
I couldn't understand. They're designed for the streaming, not for the public here.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so the Big Valley Advisory Council is working on their economic development plan modeled after Cobb Area Council's plan. They were so inspired, and they're working with Community Development Services and Jeff Lucas to write another grant to our friends at the San Francisco Bank. Which bank is it?
San
Francisco.
Federal Home Loan Bank of San Francisco.
That's right. That's what they're doing. Very exciting.
Good for them.
So this year, and there's flyers out, there's information on the county website. We are doing an internship program for high schools and college students. If anyone's interested, it's I think right now in HR and library. There's a summer program and maybe a fall program for college students. Anyway, it's available if anyone's interested. It's a really good opportunity for students to get some experience, make some money, and fill out their resume. Our very exciting road updates will happen in just a few minutes. We have our director March here. Another big project that we've been working on is a website for the Canocti Trails, which was a project about 10 years ago, maybe longer actually, 15 years ago. There was an effort to document a lot of the trails around the county, and our Economic Development Deputy CAO has been working on this project for about a year to get them all on a website, and I think we're going to go live a little bit later this month. So look for that. The Boggs 8-hour race, Bike Monkey, put on by Bike Monkey, was a couple weeks ago. It's always the first weekend in May. This year was the 20th anniversary. Not as many people as usual, because the last 2 seasons it's been raining and snowing and a little rough weather-wise, but still a couple hundred riders came out, rode for 8 hours. Some of the kids competed on the local team, so it was really fun. We love hosting Bike Monkey, and we love all the people that come and visit. This weekend, Redwood Trail Alliance is having a work day, and that is very exciting because Redwood Trail Alliance has always had Lake County in their bylaws, but over the last few years didn't have a lot of activity here. And so with the Lake County Recreation Agency, we've been trying to encourage more trail development. And so one of the members of the Lake Rec Agency is now has a seat on RTA, Redwood Trail Alliance, which is great because we have a lot of plans that we've been working on the last few years, but we don't have a lot of resources and expertise. So they have that for grant writing, and they have another arm for construction. So we're hoping to see some of our plans get implemented over the next couple years, kind of bringing RTA back, and they've been making a lot of visits up here the last few months, so it's really, really good to have that relationship re-energized. A couple weeks ago, I went to Washington, D.C. I was invited by Senator Warren to testify with the Senate Banking Committee on disaster mitigation and the insurance crisis. With the federal budget cuts that were introduced, with the skinny budget that was introduced a couple days ago from the administration, and then the continuing resolution before that, and then other lanes conversations about FEMA and disaster mitigation funds. A lot of the resources that we have been using in this county to mitigate are going away. And there's a very clear nexus in the insurance crisis on how we make our communities more insurable and lower risk. And so we really need those resources to be available for the future of our county and many places, many communities all across the country. It's not just in the West with wildfires, but it's with hurricanes and floods and tornadoes and everything else that seems to be intensifying with the climate changes. So that was a really important conversation. It was bipartisan. I'm going to be really interested to see what comes out of those conversations. Came about because when I was back there end of February, for a conference, I went a day early, and we went and met with a lot of these staffers to talk to them about the importance of the federal government taking a role in the insurance crisis. And it's because we have, all these programs that we've been using to mitigate for disasters are being leveraged, so they need to take a role in the insurance crisis. So that was about a 2-hour hearing, and for the most part, it went really well. I was really happy and proud to be representing all of you and give our experiences over the last 10 years. And I think that's, yes, so with the skinny budget being released a couple days ago, and then the governor's budget being released yesterday, there's a lot going on. A lot of people are trying to figure out a lot of things right now. None of these are finalized. There's still a lot of work that has to be done, but there's about a $12 billion deficit with the state budget. A lot of the forest and fire budget has stayed the same. A lot of the cuts are coming to Health and Human Services. And that is not including the cuts coming from the federal government. So we have a lot of concerns here in the county because 54% of our residents use Medicaid. And, about 25% of our residents have food insecurity, and so SNAP programs are really important. And it's, we have really strong advocates with Congressman Thompson and both of our senators, but it's really concerning to know that these conversations are happening, and we have a lot of people that we need to serve, and there's really no backup plan, and there's really no backfilling. So there's still a lot that's going to be changing on a daily and probably hourly basis. So it's just something to be aware of. Any questions? Yeah.
First of all, thank you for going back to Washington. That was, so that's not take that for granted at all. Yeah, but how about the hazardous vegetation ordinance? Is there anything being done with that? For different people's property?
Yeah. So.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, so Tom Slate was asking about the hazardous vegetation abatement ordinance that we all helped craft many years ago. One of the concerns with that is that we have very few code enforcement officers. And the hope is that one code enforcement officer gets assigned to hazardous vegetation, but that's still not enough countywide. So it's still complaint driven, and code enforcement does their best to respond to all of the complaints. But enforcement is always going to be very difficult with that.
I'd like to say that I saw the hearing that you were at in DC, and it was very thorough and impressive. And thank you for bringing representation from Lake County, but speaking for all of California.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Thank you, guys.
I agree. She represented herself well. She represented us well.
Yeah.
And I was super psyched that it was on Eastern time, so I could watch some of it before classes started. So. Okay. Glenn March had a slight panic attack up here. Did you need a projector or something? Is that? I don't. Okay.
He doesn't do presentations.
He doesn't do presentations. Okay. So Glenn March, County of Lake Public Works Director, we are very glad to have you here.
Can you hear me? Is it on? It looks to be on.
Yep,
Good to go?
it's making clunky sounds.
All right. My name is Glenn March. I'm the Public Works. Huh? There we go. Shoot. My name is Glenn March. I'm the Public Works Director of Lake County. I'm glad to be here tonight. I want to talk about long-range planning that is currently being done this year. So we are working on 5 different plans, not the county, but other agencies. So I want to bring your attention to them, and you have the opportunity to give input. So you should take it, if you have transportation concerns, you should take advantage of this opportunity. The purpose of these documents are to identify the priority projects of the county. The projects listed in there are the ones that we seek funds for. And it's important for us as a county to prioritize projects and be able to seek funds for projects. So the first plan is the 2026 Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan. The Hazard Mitigation Plan is put together by Lake County Sheriff's Office. It has an action plan there that addresses a variety of projects. It may be improvements to our water system, improvements, your tree trimming, your fuel breaks in the mountains, and other projects. So I would encourage you to look at the hazardous mitigation plan. There's few opportunities to give input now. They've already sought input, but if you communicate your transportation concerns to me, I can work with the Sheriff's Office to potentially get those incorporated into the plan. The second plan is the regional transportation plans. Those are projects of regional significance that we want to identify. Most of the projects that I intend to put in the plan are connector roads between state highways. The current plan, the projects in the 2022 plan are the South Main Street road widening, the Middletown multi-use path, and the Kelseyville sidewalk. So the projects that I intend to add are Bottle Rock Road rehabilitation, Nice Lucerne Cutoff rehabilitation, Red Hill Road rehabilitation. So the intent is, or my desire is to reach out, have the board approve the design of those projects to make them shovel ready. So I'll be working, so we have Red Hill already designed. I have a contract with a designer to design improvements on the Nice Lucerne Cutoff on the east side of the Rodman Slough. And I will probably be bringing a proposal to the board later this year, probably in the fall or winter, to design Bottle Rock. So Bottle Rock's about a $12 to $14 million project. So it'll be very difficult to get funding, but we will pursue it when those grants come along. So if you can think of any projects of regional significance, you have the opportunity to give input at the Lake APC website. They are looking for comments now. So you can check out the existing 2022 plan and identify what needs to be added. The other plan is the Lake County Active Transportation Plan. That is in the same document as the Regional Transportation Plan. That identifies multimodal projects, those projects that include road improvements, pedestrian improvements, bicycle improvements. Some people like to add horse trails. So our trails, our improvements to our roads to add sidewalks and bicycle lanes. Those are the types of projects in the active transportation plan. A complete streets project, which we're going to be identifying projects in our downtown business districts for complete streets. So it's important. We need to do some traffic calming in our downtown areas and make it a better environment for people to enjoy downtown. So that is the third plan. Our fourth plan, we are going to start in the fall. So that is the local road safety plan. So there are a significant number of grants for safety improvements. So safety improvements tend to focus on those areas where deaths or serious injuries have occurred due to geometric design of the road, drinking, and anything like that. So there's a website created by Berkeley. It's Transportation Injury Management Survey. So all the police reports of accidents with injuries go into this database, and you can identify where those accidents happened, and we're going to use that information to identify improvements that we can take on. So it's important if you can go to this Tim's website and look at accidents and that resulted in injuries or fatalities, and understand where improvements should be made. So the plan for that is it will be done by the Lake APC again. We intend to, so it should be in the budget this year for the Lake APC for the next fiscal year to update that plan. So that's what the Lake APC is working on. So the Public Works Department has been directed by the Board of Supervisors to develop a capital improvement plan. So that capital improvement plan will be put together by the special districts, Department of Public Works, Public Services, and Water Resources. So that project will identify both funded and unfunded projects, and to put those on everyone's radar screen. So the Public Works Department has about 50 active projects right now, somewhere between 40 and 50. So we want to get those accomplished as quickly as we can so we can take on more projects. The Public Works Department, the Engineering and Inspection Group, has focused on bridge projects in the past. So we are going to refocus on road projects and more road projects. So speaking of road projects, the 2024 pavement rehabilitation plan, it has started. That is the Cobb Mountain Area pavement rehabilitations. So we are getting submittals right now from the contractor to approve some traffic control, his materials. So we should be getting started here in June. So I'm gonna, does anybody
Starting
have
in
any
June.
questions? Yeah.
Yeah, what's gonna happen up here? That's the county one, right? I got a bottle of it, but what else?
So right now we're doing the Cobb road improvements, road rehabilitation. That's a $5.1 million project, construction project. The budget is probably, the county will spend probably over $7 million on that project with engineering design and construction management and staff time. So it's $7 million up in the Cobb area.
So do you know off the top of your head what neighborhoods are included in that plan?
Jessica had the list.
Just probably knows,
Y-
but I'm quizzing you.
I don't. I don't remember what I did yesterday.
So last time you were here, you brought a list of all the roads and the neighborhoods, and it is on the press release. And that press release is on the Facebook page for Public Works. It's a lot of the areas that were burned. It's several neighborhoods. It's quite extensive. Sorry, Darlene.
No, I know I saw like Summit neighborhoods there.
Summit neighborhoods.
I've got it. If you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it's about 16 miles of road.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
saw, I've
Yeah.
seen the utility marking or the water utility marketing
Okay,
they've
great.
been doing.
so this was what was on the Facebook page: Adams Springs Court, Adams Springs Drive, Angeli Way, Arroyo Vista Road, Blues Court, Blues Way, Brookside Drive, Carolyn Drive, Casantini Drive, Castlewood Road, Costello Way, Creekview Drive, Dove Drive, Elliott Drive, Entrance Road, Forest Lake Drive, Fox Drive, Glen Road, Grouse Road, Harrington Flat Road. Did you know that's the full name? It's not just Harrington Flat. Anyway. Hoburg Drive, with some letters after it, 136F, Hoburg Drive, 136F, Hoburg Drive East, Hoburg Drive South, Hogan Hill Lane, Humboldt Drive, and the Humboldt Drive Extension. And there's like a begin limit and an end limit, so there's like,
That will help you with your Hobart Drive.
yeah.
Rehabilitation, you mean repaving?
Reconstructing,
Reconstructing?
yeah.
Yeah.
Does that mean repaving?
Yes, and pavement on top of it, or double chip seal.
And I'm still going to mention my little street, Evergreen Drive. It gets overlooked very easily. It's County Road 133. Entrance Drive is the next road that's off of 175, just up from there, and then Forest Drive to the bog space is just below that. And I don't know if there is a reason why it wasn't included. It's in the burn scar. And it parallels the highway, so it's very easy. It gets lost in the map. It backs up to Boggs Forest and it parallels 175 and overlooks the Hoburgs area. And I was just wondering if there's some water department stuff that needs to be done. First, or, if it was just a simple overlook. I know I brought this up the first time you came to visit, and if there's a chance to do a work order to add the work to it. It's in very poor condition. There's a huge pothole that takes up almost the whole entry to the road that we just have one little area to get past it to get to the 5 residences that are on the road, and there's 3 lots for sale that are, I don't know that they're going to be able to sell them, but I wanted to ask you the status of that.
So I adopted the project. I was hired in June of
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah,
So right now, it's not being added. So that's the status right now.
okay. Yeah.
Can you speak to 2 things to help someone like me who's only looked at this piece of paper like twice, about the end limits and the beginning limits? And so like I'm seeing all these roads that shoot off of Summit Boulevard, and Summit Boulevard is the beginning limit and the end limit. So that doesn't include Summit Boulevard at all. So what that means?
I'm uncertain of the list.
The one I just listed.
Right, I don't know if, I don't know if you got to the S's.
There's a second page.
I do not see a second page. This is all the one that I saw.
You got through H. You got to H.
I got through H, but then there wasn't another one listed.
It's a lot
They're
more.
not gonna do Humboldt, they're not gonna do.
No, they are gonna do
No,
Humboldt.
they're not. I've been working with the water district
Oh.
for the last 2 weeks.
Of course you know.
Identifying water lines. And they're eliminated a lot of the streets, the little chutes like Loose Court, Loose Way, Humboldt Extension. I don't know what they're gonna do up with entrance. There is no road left. Quail, Dove, entrance. There's no pavement.
Yeah,
left.
that's how my
Gone.
road is.
Yeah.
It's been
I'm gonna
gone since
move if
prior.
this doesn't go through. I mean, I'm
Are they
serious.
going to take the asphalt zipper and grind everything flat and
Correct.
then
Yeah.
Pave
grade
it.
it and chip and seal it?
Some areas are pavement and other areas are double chip seal.
The same thing like fresh,
Yes, new asphalt.
I see.
So I guess related to the question there that you just, or the issue that you just raised, Robert, if there are markings on the road for water, is that a good sign that they're going to be doing that particular road?
Yes.
Why don't we ask Glenn?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, he would know more than me,
Either one.
but
Yeah.
it appears that the contractor is called USA and all the utility companies are in the process of marking out the utilities. So that's a good thing.
So if utilities are marked, that's probably a pretty good sign.
Yes.
Okay.
And the only reason I say those streets are going to be done is that the guy from Granite said that they eliminated Blues Way and Blues Court. And that's what my comment on.
So that list that I read off to you was on that Public Works Facebook page. Where would I go to get the most updated list? Or is that list like updated as the project?
Yeah, that is
rolls
the
out?
list. That is the list.
Okay, but it only went to H.
Oh,
There's another
we
page.
need a second page. So if you reach out to me, I'll provide you the entire list.
Okay, Glenn.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so.
And I'll share it out. Okay. We touched on this, but just to hear you say it, like, what would have caused a road not to be even considered?
I understand at one time, the utility companies had planned to work, so that is a reason why those many roads were not included as part of this project.
Okay.
You likely know that a lot of the families go back to all that equipment they're using in the Valley Fire, right?
Right, yeah.
I have page 2.
Oh, good.
Jones Court, Karen Way, Lassen Drive, Lima Court, Lima Lane, Maple Shadows, Nelson Court, Nelson Lane, Palmer Court, Palmer Drive, the other part of Palmer Drive, Parnassus, Pinewood, Prather Court, Prather Way, Quail, Regina, Shasta, Sneed, St. Helena, Sugar Pine, Sulphur Creek, Summit Boulevard A, Summit Boulevard B, Summit Drive, Trinity Road, and Venturi.
Thank you.
I will forward this to Kathy.
Yeah. Yes.
I think there's a whole bunch left.
That was on the first list, Holberg's.
Hoburgs? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hoburg North, Hoburg South, Hoburg East.
Yeah. Holberg Drive, 136F, 136FA, east, south, Holberg Drives. I don't know if you'd be, if there's another part of Holberg Drive, that'd be rotten if you were the one part that wasn't included. Because there's like 5 different Holbergs on this list.
It's just important to note that we had to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And this has been many years in the works before Glenn. It's a project that spanned a lot of different directors and staff, and a lot of people around the county are upset that we're starting here. Everyone wants their road done. We're doing the best we can, and we have to start somewhere. So we're all really appreciative that we're getting rolling with this big project, biggest road project in county history is what I've been told. So
So I guess maybe a question to you would be, if we do have identified areas that still need work, are there ways to get that into any of the planning documents that we're talking about? Or is that,
That's a question for Glenn.
or would that be a question for you?
I don't know which, that would be in the capital improvement plan document.
Which one?
The capital improvement
Oh,
plan
okay.
that the Department of Public Works, my staff is putting together.
Okay.
So that is, it doesn't fit neatly into any of the other long 20-year plans, but it can fit into a,
And that capital improvement plan is one that is under development right now?
correct.
And when might it open for public comment? Do you have any sense of when people should be on the lookout for it?
It will go to public comment at the board meeting,
Okay.
so.
The
that's
board, at a future board meeting, you don't know?
Correct,
Right, okay, so just keep an eye on the board agenda?
yes.
Is that the, okay.
And all of the roads were assessed a couple of years ago. So a lot of this has to do with the condition of the roads, the community that lives there, the density of the community, and what are the other factors that you're looking at, Glenn?
We're primarily looking at, currently at the PCIs in the downtown areas of the communities. So
Pavement Condition Index.
in
Thank you, I
that,
was gonna, yeah.
That's
that,
what
that
PCI.
so
acronym
if
was.
you want to look at the pavement condition index of the roads in the county, you would search the Lake APC website, and it has a 2022 or 2023 pavement management program, and that provides the PCI index of all the roads in the county.
I think we included some of that information in the Cobb plan, didn't we, in the economic development plan? It's in there.
But as of 2022.
As of 2022, okay.
But actually, even that data was quite a bit older.
But there's some information there, and people can link out to the data set, right? Okay.
Yeah. So the
Darlene, Evergreen, Paul, you could maybe mention that there's some kind of drawing tank for the helicopter that's being put at the pack. And that we're gonna run I say we, I must be French. They're gonna run a 6-inch main down Evergreen, which might be the reason they're precluding it from any.
Have you heard that they're actually gonna run it down Evergreen or in that area?
Well, they're gonna go down, right now, we cut across the Hobart Resort and come down to Evergreen.
Okay,
So they're gonna come down from the road and go down the highway.
yeah, okay,
And when they do, they'll duck into Evergreen and replace that. So
Okay,
That
that-
may be why it's not on the list.
yeah. That's what I wanted, at least an answer to, as to why, because it's in the burn scar. I mean, it's, you know, I mean, if there's some reason, you know, why it's not included. Because all the streets around it, all the Hoburgs, every street around it is being paved, but for this one. So it's like, there's gotta be some reason why it's not, and that's what I want an answer to.
okay.
I'm just curious, I imagine this is part of the role, the culverts around all these roads. I remember it used to be done every 1 to maybe 2, 3 years. They haven't been done in a real long time there.
Cleaned or replaced?
They would go and dig them out and, yeah. But they, you know, there's a lot of hills. And
Right.
they run down and fill them up. And a lot of things growing.
Yeah, so I recently started working with the road division, and we are developing new ways to approach work. So that is something we want to work on. There are grants to address culverts that I recently became aware of. So we will pursue grants, and whether it's our staff or we have to get a contractor to address that. If we get the grants, maybe we could address that. But we are working really hard to figure out a better way to do our roads and the associated facilities.
And rehabilitation should start in June?
Yes.
How long, any idea of like how long it's gonna, out of all those roads listed, how long does that take to do all those?
They have 100 working days to complete, 100 calendar days, or working days. So they should be finished by September.
Great.
By fall.
By fall?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? I don't know. Tom, do you have a question?
I'll have a couple of comments.
Okay.
Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you, Glenn.
Yeah.
I'm Tom Slade. I spoke to Mr. March early on in order to be diplomatic about a situation in my neighborhood, one of many, but just one in particular. I clean my own streets. I have a backpack leaf blower, and I usually clean several hundred feet beyond my property. But the other end of my street possibly hasn't been cleaned, and I brought some pictures, since Bill Merriman was in office. That would be about 25 years ago. And I spoke to him briefly, and maybe he's trying to be friendly or something, but he made a few sort of humorous quips, and I didn't think there was anything funny about it at all. Maybe you were just trying to be nice. I don't know. So I would have left it at that, but I just want to point out this. Again, this isn't life and death stuff, but this is just one example, and you can see what the other end of my street, although it's going to get paved. I hope they clean this out, they don't pave over these leaves. I'm being sarcastic, but sometimes it's appropriate. So just so everybody's aware, our department has about 725 road complaints at the end of last year that they haven't addressed. So This goes back 25 years. I gave up calling years ago, and I forgot there was something. Oh, if you dig down through that dump, there's compost under there. And these pictures were taken maybe before the Valley Fire. There's compost under there, and then under that is pavement. So I don't think that's real. After 25 years, I thought, but if it's going to get paved again, don't pave over the leaves, clean it first. All right. So, as I may have mentioned, we have June 2nd, we're starting a dedicated complaints crew to get on top of our complaints. So we have 3 yards. They're going to be working out of the Kelseyville yard and concentrating in the Kelseyville area. And this is part of the Kelseyville area. So the Kelseyville yard serves this area. All right. Thank you so much. And remember to give input to those long-range plans and the capital improvement plan.
And it's lakeapc.org that has the survey. If you haven't taken the survey, just take it. It's only available for a few more weeks, right? Isn't in June? Is that when it closes?
I'm uncertain.
We had a presentation.
He had a presentation, I think it was
Like
2 months ago?
I think so.
Yeah, and I still have some flyers. I may put some flyers up at the post office, because I think I've got, with the QR code that he gave us, so.
Cool.
Look for it at the Cobb post office.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Glenn.
Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn.
Okay. Let's talk about the fire slash storm. I guess I could take the storm portion.
It does look like firestorm on the agenda. so it's kinda-
Firestorm. Let's not have a
Let's not do
firestorm
that.
on the agenda. Paul Duncan, everybody.
Yes. Boggs Mountain is fully open. We have all the road work done, so it's turned out really nice getting all the grading done and having that available again. So enjoy that. There is still biochar available at the air curtain site. We have over 300 bags down there. So if you need 1,200 pounds worth of biochar, we'd be happy to dump it into your vehicle.
Okay, ask a question about that.
Fire away.
See what he did there. People were like, oh, I don't know, do I want to use biochar in a path in my garden? Is that just going to track like charcoal into my house later on? I mean, like, What's that
So,
like?
yeah.
No one knows.
It is a soil amendment, so shouldn't be mixing it with soil. It should just be laid on top of the ground. You need to mix it in with the soil. And it won't leave, in that condition, it won't leave ash going into the house. So
But
that's
if you
not-
walked across it, it would.
Yeah, it is
So don't do
it is
that. Yeah, okay.
is a charcoal-like substance, but it's not charcoal.
Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we did drop off 2 bags of the biochar to the Middletown Community Garden. So if you just want a 5-gallon Home Depot bucket full of it, then
That I could put in my Subaru?
you could bring in your Subaru, absolutely. But for the larger folks, there's 300 bags. They will load them, and you can look. I have a link on my Facebook feed on the address to put the application in. It's Lomist is the organization, and they will load one of those with a forklift.
Great.
The Cobb station just finished their driveway, which is years in the making. So when you drive by, you'll see that nice new concrete out there, which is great. Thanks to Skiles Construction for that. We did have a pretty good turnout at the bike mucking event, and we are entering burn season. Just want a reminder on the zone 0 importance. So that 0 to 5 foot clearance away from your house, nothing combustible in that zone 0. So that's just a reminder on that. That's all I got. Yes, sir.
Can you repeat how many bags of biochar are still available?
300. 1,200-pound totes.
How much is the one bag?
1,200 pounds. It's like a 4x4 tote that you pick up with the forklift.
My half-ton truck would be able to
It'd be just perfect for your half-ton truck.
Any sense of when burn bans are going to go into effect?
Burn ban is in effect.
It is in effect.
May 1st, yep. So no residential burning without an exemption permit, and those can be obtained through me. If you need to burn for some reason, we can issue those. It takes an inspection, and then we will issue a permit with conditions. It could be a dozer, that could be a fire engine, it could be charged hand line, it could be a lot of things. So we don't issue those after the burn suspension unless there's a serious need.
Paul, any thoughts or words that you have just looking ahead in terms of how the vegetation has grown and what the climate's looking for the summer? How are you guys feeling about the coming season?
We're prepared for another intense fire season. So there was a pretty good grass crop until this last little rain came in, and then turned into an exceptional grass crop. So yeah, I'll thank Mother Nature for allowing me to weed whack my yard twice. Thanks for the rain last week. But it's the primary driver of any fire is grass. So any wildland fire, the primary carrier is grass. So when you have a large grass crop, it leads into larger incidents because that's your carrier. Yes, sir.
Is there anything, I believe there was a law that people that lost their houses and moved away, they didn't come back, aren't they responsible for clearing their lots?
There's no requirement for folks to clear their lots after the fire.
So they can just,
Yes, they can.
Unless it's hazardous.
So you
hazardous
can report it
vegetation.
through the Community Development Department and that hazardous lot reporting program. So there's a link in there, you can report the lot, but we're really down to inspectors that could come out and check that. Not me, the county is. They're the ones that enforce that, but there's not really much.
I was clearing a lot next to me for years until he put it up for sale. And so, I mean, you could barely see it because it's so overgrown.
I had a similar with a lot next to me that sold, but I reached out to the realtor who put me in contact with the new owner.
I thought of that.
And I have echoed my sentiment on lot maintenance if they're going to be a property owner. So, because that one hazard lot affects everybody around them. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome.
Treasurer's report, Chris.
I'll try and make this quick. And if anybody wants a detailed report, I have extra copies up here, and of course it'll be in the minutes, the detailed report. We paid out in general fund payments, $464 in April. That was $300 to the Mountain Lions Club and $164 for our storage unit. The cool news is Blackberry Cobbler Festival has already raised $4,075 in vendor fees. So that's in addition to our net assets. So since last month, we've had a net add of $3,611. And if you want any other details on specific accounts and how much is where, it's right here. Any questions? All right. No. Everybody's eyes glazed over.
We're thinking about roads.
He would have woke him up if he'd said, we're going to pay Bottle Rock.
Yeah. That's funny. Okay. Approving funds. I don't know if you tried to look at our Cobb Area Council website lately, but there's a big message that says, this doesn't work. Basically, that's what it says. So we wanted to discuss the approval of funds to address website maintenance issues for the CobbAreaCouncil.org and ultimately, as well, the ExploreCobbCA.com that needs some maintenance. Would you like to speak to that, Chris?
Well, yes. So I've talked to somebody, as a matter of fact, it's the person who does the Middletown Area Merchants Association website. And this individual also came with a recommendation from Ashley with the Belmont Pines group there that is willing to take on the maintenance and upkeep of our two websites for about $50 an hour. And we probably would need to allocate somewhere in the neighborhood of about $3,000 for the year to get, a little bit of front loading on getting that work done because we have some clear, serious maintenance issues right now. Mm-hmm. And then and later in the year, it would just be kind of general upkeep and upgrades to the plugins for the WordPress site and things like that. So that $3,000 would probably be front loaded a little bit towards the beginning of the project to the
Mm-hmm.
Maintenance contract, if you will.
So move.
So is the thought to include agendas and, stuff for the meetings?
We would rehabilitate that portion of the website. It hasn't worked properly for about a year. Mm-hmm. But now but right now it's completely down. The agendas and minutes hasn't worked for about a year. Yeah. So it's much needed.
But the agendas and minutes are available on the county's website in the meantime, and also. But in the meantime, since our website is down, the agendas and minutes are available on the county website.
Right. I think we had a person that was looking for our economic development plan too, that emailed us that couldn't get to us, So that's another thing that's on the website. So I think I heard a motion.
From Elliot.
Yes, I move that we approve the $3,000 budget item, and I'll elaborate. I think that particularly heading into this the Cobbler Festival season, which is the time when we have our highest visibility and want to promote our community, I think that people go to the websites to find out what's going on. Particularly our C.A.C. We've got a couple new enterprises, Belmont Pines. We've got a new event happening at the Grill at Pine Grove. We've got a rehabilitated Lions Community Center here. I think we've got a lot to let the rest of the community know about. And clearly, this is the way to do it. We can use Facebook to point people to it. I think it's absolutely essential to keep that going. We put so much into getting it going. I think we should just, do that.
I'll be happy to second that with just a question, maybe clarification. Is it a total year cost, or are we going to go hourly for whatever? It's hourly billed services, or
It's the rate is hourly. We would allocate $3,000 in our budget towards that And when we hit the limit, we would come back and, if we did hit the limit, we'd come back and ask for more. Of course, the goal is to come under budget, but,
So that would be a contract not to exceed,
pardon me?
that would be a contract not to exceed.
Not to exceed, exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
So that's a second.
Just a heads up, Penny is becoming more active.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe having deals on weekends or something, I don't know. They're trying to figure that out, but they've been playing with that a little.
I'm not sure I fully got the question.
Penny catering.
Oh,
Just
okay,
another-
yeah, we can add anybody to the Explore Cobb, and that'll be part of it, is updating our local businesses. Yeah, that'll be a component of the maintenance and updates.
Call for the question.
Okay, someone called the question. Paul did. So, unless there's any further discussion, all those in favor of allocating $3,000 for the website maintenance and upkeep?
Aye.
Is there anyone opposed? We're gonna have a fresh website. Yes.
Excellent.
It's been moved and approved. Okay. Committee reports. Elliot is making his way towards the microphone.
Yes, I'm going to stand in first for Magdalena's report on the Firewise
Thank you.
communities. We had a bang-up National Fire Prevention Day on May 3rd, et cetera, where our Firewise communities throughout the Cobb area mobilized to make their communities safer. And thanks to the fact that that is SSCRA, was able to get a grant from the National Fire Protection Association to distribute, we were able to help fund programs throughout the Cobb area. And I will announce that we still do have, now that we've actually allocated to our Firewise communities, we've got about $700 left over, which we are going to make available to just local residents. If you've got a yard cleanup, a hazardous vegetation program, a neighbor who's basically not able to or able to afford doing some yard work, and you can arrange to do that, we would like to hear from you. Again, we've got about $700 left. If you could write to Magdalena, Magdalena VH, L-E-N-A, V as in Victor, H as in Hurwitz, Magdalena VH at sscra.org, and let us know. We need to know that within the next 2 weeks, or that money is going to be gobbled up. So thank you to all of our Firewise communities who, there's a lot of work been going on out there this month in preparation for fire season. So thanks.
Aye.
Tom Lacey, I don't know if this is related, but you talked about cleanup, and Supervisor Price, you may know the answer to this. I know on the other side of the lake in District 3 in Chair Crandall's area, he has a lot of dump days going on. Is there anything like that for this area or for this side of the lake? Do you? Okay.
No.
Okay. Yeah, they've cleaned up, like, I think there are a couple hundred tons of trash and things like that. So maybe something to think about for the future.
Okay. Thank you. All right, any other questions for Elliot / Magdalena?
Yeah, I can know that because it sounds like you're really enthused in what you said, but I'm not sure what it amounts to. Can you make a little more detail, or what's it all?
For example, over in our Cedar Springs Firewise community, we're able to hire R2 and Company to come and spend a full day clearing, some major ceanothus concentrations and kind of cutting fire breaks through the community. I know that the Loch Lomond Firewise community also has also hired R2, but also supplemented it with their own funds to do work along the roads in their community. Again, I can't do a full Magdalena for you in terms of what all the details are, but in each of the Firewise communities, they've been out there cutting brush, taking this stuff to either Quackenbush or down to the the curtain burner area, and just reducing some of the hazardous fuels within our neighborhoods. Thank you. Sure.
All right. And Darlene, who's been very quiet, you have the Communications Committee report.
Yes, Mel sent me a report. He has said Gordon Springs Firewise Group conducted a radio copy exercise using Cobb AlertNet radios on May 4th, Wildfire Community Preparation Day. And he said May 3rd. Was it May 4th? Anyway, he said it was a great learning experience. It demonstrated the need to practice the benefit of using radios. 6 radios were added to the Cobb neighborhood as a result. So a copy exercise is where you say on the radio, you know, like a relay, like XYZ is over here, and the other person has to say copy XYZ, you know, to get the instructions down to learn how to use a radio and get instructions out properly. Cobb AlertNet sent the first yellow alert of the season for a fire near Hidden Valley Lake. A yellow alert is just not to evacuate, just be aware. Hidden Valley Lake is an adjunct to our neighborhood. We have a separate repeater set up for Hidden Valley Lake. Let's see, which we provide a special alert channel for, since the Siegler Mountain repeater has a good coverage there. If you know anyone interested in Hidden Valley Lake that would like to become a member of Cobb AlertNet radio network, please email cobbalertnet@gmail.com. We have plenty of radios for sale for Cobb and Hidden Valley Lake areas. And finally, now is the time to practice radio communications and alerting while the fires are a mere 0.5 to 3 acres. WARU, that's his latest acronym, Winters Over, Radios On. And of course, if you don't want to hear the chit chat on Maine, you can always leave your radios on the alert channel, channel 9, to not hear the chit chat, but you'll definitely get the alerts if anything is of concern to us here in the Cobb area.
Thank you.
Yes.
You would plan ahead, but is it in the thinking that we do like last year, like on a real hot, like a red flag conditions, which are fairly rare, but there's at least somebody involved would be, and they could take turns to shift, but we would have somebody away from where.
Right.
Or anything that they know.
Yeah, I heard Mel and Mike, I believe it was, talking about that the other day, that they were going to be taking shifts, listening to the scanner and listening for events that, or fires that, you know, we maybe need to be aware of. Yep. Any other questions? All right.
Forest Health Committee, and we welcome back Elliot.
Okay, continuing on with our conversation about our Cobb Community Wildfire Protection Plan, the CWPP. As I mentioned last month, even though the federal government has wimped out on us, we basically are given the Cobb spirit here. The Cobb Forest Group has said, listen, we want to do this anyway. So we're going to kick off the development of our Cobb Mountain Area Community Wildfire Protection Plan at the upcoming Cobb Forest Summit here at our very own community center at the Little Red Schoolhouse on June 7th. It's going to be an exciting full-day program to consider the forest with members of our forest team as well as others. We'll have a conversation about, the basic question is, let's get beyond evacuation and defensible space. What's it going to take to make this place safe long-term? And so that's really what we're going to start to dig into. We'll have some good presentations on, well, what is the forest ecology here? What do we need to do to make it safe? We're going to talk about Firewise communities. We're going to have booths from all the Firewise communities. The NCO is going to be here, CERT teams, the Cobb Alert Network. So there's going to be booths, demonstrations, and conversation about it. We're going to talk about the state of insurance and hopefully get the latest on the fire season from the Chief Duncan and his colleagues. We're also going to talk about what does it take if you've got some major, forest lands. We've got, of the 38,000 acres here in the Cobb area, 70% of it is in parcels over 50 acres. So that's 100 owners, people who actually have significant holdings, and that's where we want to, so there's two places we want to focus on, educating and learning what do we need to do to make a culture of fire safety, throughout the forest here, as well as in our subdivisions. So that's Saturday, June 7th, short 3 weeks from today, from this Saturday, should be hitting Facebook and the bulletin boards momentarily.
Great.
So I have a question for you.
Yes.
You said there were about 100 owners that
Yes.
are, have invitations gone out to those specific owners, or have you identified them? I'm just curious.
Well, it's a public database, really. And we basically ask county IT, print us out a database of every parcel in the
Yeah.
Cobb area.
I guess my question is, did you send invitations to those people?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
fantastic.
Well, again, to tell you the truth, we don't have email addresses for them. We just have mailing addresses. So we'll, for those that we're able to identify most easily, we will be contacting them. And not to go into the vagaries of it, but we've tried to do mailings to the addresses on record at the assessor's office, and we get about a 25% return
Oh, wow.
from the tax office.
That's significant.
Yes, thank you. 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., and there will be lunch. Also, we have a limited number of space, so please register
Bye.
at sscra.org. If you go there, there'll be a link. You can register for the event.
When should they register by?
Immediately, really.
Okay.
We'll see. I'm not sure how fast it's going to fill up. So, we're basically holding 75 spots. So the first 75 people to register, we'll
Okay.
be glad to welcome you. Be a good day. Good questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Elliot. Is there an Economic Development Committee update? Information of it?
Really, the only update
Information?
I have is there hasn't been a whole lot of interest in people forming a permanent committee until very recently.
Yes.
So I've had conversations with a couple of people about forming a permanent standing committee to deal with economic development issues, and I think the website will also, once we get that back up and running, will help generate some interest from our business partners or others that are interested in economic development around here. So,
Excellent.
yeah. And then, of course, the Blackberry Cobbler Festival is part of the Economic Development Committee, so I will defer to you for that.
And we have well over 80 vendors signed up. I tried to get a fresh number, but I know my phone is blowing up. It says another person has registered. Another person has registered. All hours of the night and day. And so that's going very well. I think we only got one person snagged by a scammer early on, and so I'm very proud of our efforts there to avoid people being taken advantage of. We had our meeting at the Belmont Pines golf course last month, and they are so excited to have us back, and things are going along swimmingly, I think. Yeah, we sent out emails to all of our previous vendors, and then probably about 100 more new interested. They didn't all sign up, but I had collected about 100. It seems like 100 emails, but probably not, of new people who were interested, and everyone's very excited, and yeah.
And confirmed sponsors?
I'm sorry, I thought I announced that at the last meeting, but I don't mind mentioning our sponsors again. It's the ever popular Calpine Corporation, thank you. Calpine at the Geysers. And of course, don't get this mixed up, Sutter Health. I'm all still looking at you. So Sutter Health has come back, and both of them want to be our platinum sponsors again this year.
And we're going to be reaching out.
We have sponsorship request letters drafted, and I think they just need to be emailed.
Yep.
That's it.
So, pitching out through, but a previous sponsor, we're coming back to ask you
Coming back
again.
to ask again. Okay, that's it. We have one more discussion.
Yes.
The third Thursday of the month in June falls on June 19th, which is a holiday, June 19th, Juneteenth. So we were feeling like we should probably move that date. Checking in with the Lions Club, I'm not sure if we should just try to do a day earlier or probably a day earlier or a whole week later. Anyone have any thoughts?
Right now, I don't have anything for either the 18th or the 20th.
18th is pretty good.
Yeah,
If you want to go a week.
Can we get a quorum?
I don't know.
18th?
Are you available on the 18th?
I didn't even think to bring my calendar. I may,
I will be out of town on the 18th, so
maybe the following week. I know I'm open the following week.
The 26th?
I'll be back by the 26th. I'll be gone that entire week.
So the week after,
June 26th, does that work for you or no?
no.
The 18th is Western Region, the 19th is you guys. Why can't you do the 19th?
It's a holiday.
It's a holiday.
It's a holiday.
Juneteenth.
Is it really?
It's really hot, look, it's on there.
Yes,
It's on my, Juneteenth.
and county offices are closed, I believe.
County
It's a
offices are
county
closed.
Yeah, it's a county
It's a
holiday.
US holiday.
US holiday, yeah.
Hmm?
It's federal and county adopted it a couple of years
Yeah.
ago.
What about the week earlier, the 12th?
Middletown,
Yeah.
area, town hall.
We could not, it's hard to imagine we could have a meeting without you. We could not Zoom. It would not be recorded.
So you're thinking of doing it on the 26th?
Or the 18th. No, probably the 26th, right?
Yeah, I mean, 26th would be all right.
The 26th would work for you?
Oh, it does? Oh, okay, I thought you said it didn't work
Okay.
for you.
No, the 18th doesn't work.
Oh, but the 26th does.
Western, which is not really 12th or in Middletown. The 5th is also available.
I moved the next month, we moved the meeting to the 26th.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Great, we'll have it on June 26th.
Thank you, Glenda.
Who seconded that? Chris?
Chris.
Chris, okay, thank you.
Thank you, everybody, and we are adjourned at 7:40. No, sorry, we're not yet adjourned. One more speaker.
That was the 26th, Chris.
Sorry, everybody. Margot Kambara.
Okay.
This is very quick. This is a footnote to your agenda item earlier tonight. You were talking about transportation plans. I have a flyer. So
that's- yeah, one of the
I'm going to
flyers.
leave this for you. And then, Thomas, if we can zoom in on this so the people in PEG TV land and YouTube land can take advantage of this QR code, that'd be fabulous. So this is a quick way to get to the survey and submit your input. So I'm leaving this with Chris.
Yeah, thank you. I'll put it up at the post office.
Oh, hold it back up again. Hold it up. Sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And now we can adjourn at 7:48. Thanks for being here, everyone.
It's a wrap.